Hello and welcome. This is Family Connect. I'm your host, Faith. Welcome to the show. The show is brought to you courtesy of Deliverance Church KITENGELA. And today we have a guest who is going to share a story that shows that God, even today, still works miracles. Annette, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have you here today.
I'm so glad to.
Okay, so I want you to start from, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And then now we'll start, we'll continue from there.
Okay, thank you so much, Faith, for this chance. I don't take it for granted. Yeah, it's a privilege to be here with you, to share my testimony, and just to encourage someone that indeed God can do wonderful things.
Amen.
My name is Zinzi Annette.
So we start with
Zinzi Annette. Zinzi is hard, so sometimes it's like Annette, Zinzi. Yeah, any can do. So Zinzi Annette. I'm married to one husband.
Praise Jesus. Amen.
Yeah, and I have two children, two boys.
Yes.
One is aged 6. Yeah. Another one is turning 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah, and I thank God for that.
Amen.
I was born and raised in western part of Kenya. That is Kakamega. And then, okay, partly Kakamega and Bungoma. Okay. Yeah, that's my hometown. So I've stayed there for some time. I'm a firstborn in a family of 3.
I can imagine.
Yeah, the grace that comes with firstborns.
You guys take on a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, and I thank God for my journey. Yes. It has been a long one, but I've seen God in that journey. Amen. Yeah.
So I want you to, you can start by telling us a little bit about how you grew up. Yeah. Because that's going to be part of who you are right now. True. So just tell us a little bit. You grew up, you've told us, in Bungoma. Yeah. And where else?
Kakamega.
Kakamega. Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about how you grew up, what kind of a family you grew up in. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Going back to my childhood, as I said, I was a firstborn in a family of 3. And now, unfortunately, I lost my dad when I was in class 6.
Wow,
I think in class 6. Yeah, I was so young. And now my mom, my dad was the breadwinner of the family. Okay. So my mom had to take over because she was just doing some small farming. So she had to take over. And now being the firstborn, you feel your mom's burden so much.
So you almost help her carry.
Yeah, and I was so young. So I think from that point, sometimes I tell myself I matured so early. Yeah, because of that.
Because you were like maybe 12, 11, 12 when you lost your dad. And now you have to help your mom carry the responsibilities.
Yes. So I matured so early. And then at some point, I think my faith started growing from that point because my mom is a strong believer.
She's born again.
Yeah, she's born again. So having now been left all alone, my mom and us, now we only had God.
Amen.
Because I remember all the time my mom will tell me, we need to pray over this. We need to trust God. Things will work out. We need to put our hope in God. And she will keep on reminding me he is the father to the fatherless. Amen. He is the husband to the widows. So those things kept on lingering in my mind. And I knew that's where my faith started now growing in God. Yeah. Because I realized we have only now God to trust. Yeah. To put
He's
our
the only one who you can turn to.
Yeah. We have no dad. We have no one to run to. When people, I remember in primary school, people would go like, let me go and tell my dad. And
you didn't have
for me,
dad.
I didn't have. So I'll come and tell mom, and mom will tell me, no, we have our God.
Amen. We have a Father in heaven. Our Father is in heaven.
Yeah. So that's how we started off our journey. And now I did my primary, class 8, because now after because of those challenges, I had to be moved to stay with my aunt. Like now they're moving,
So you were away from your mom, you went to live with your aunt?
Yeah, for 1 year
that
now.
Means a new school.
Yeah, now I did my class 8. I passed so well. I joined, by then it was provincial schools.
Yeah.
So I joined a provincial school. And now the journey started now. So having left my mom the way she was at home, I couldn't expect more from her. Yeah, because sometimes during visiting hours, she wouldn't come because
they are the fair.
Yeah,
she has to
and
take
now
care of your
I was in Bungoma and she's in Kakamega.
Yeah,
so she has to travel from Kakamega to Bungoma. And then now sometimes she would come either once in a term, or sometimes she would like send me just something small, like, no, let me just send you this.
Yeah, instead
of coming the transport on the way and all that.
It's too costly.
Yeah. And then also she had some other challenges at home. There were challenges with the family, the land issues and all that, the in-laws. Now she's fighting cases in the court because of land. Now I could just understand. But I remember those were the worst days in my life. I can imagine,
especially on a visiting day and you don't get visited.
Yeah.
It breaks your heart. It breaks
so
your
much
heart.
Because I would stare at the gate the entire Saturday,
waiting and hoping. Actually,
you are hoping, know she's not coming,
but you
are hoping that I wish
God will do
or someone just visits me like now.
Your auntie or someone.
So I'll stare at the gate like the entire Saturday. On Sunday, now I'll look around because my mom used to, when she's coming for visiting, she'll come in the morning. By around 11, she's at school, so that we can stay at least up to 1.
Yes.
Then she leaves.
Okay. Yeah,
to travel back.
Go the way back.
So on Sunday, when it's around 11 and I've seen no one, I just give up. And now I'll try to talk to my friends. Help me a phone. I talk to my mom
just to say hi.
Yeah. So that's how difficult it was. And I will call her. And I remember in high school, I had only 2 contacts in my head. It was my mom and my late uncle's number.
Or the one who passed away recently.
The uncle passed away in the month of February.
And he was like a dad to you.
He was my father figure. Yeah, because up to this moment, I remember I only had 2 contacts. So I'd call my mom. And surprisingly, I couldn't ask her why she didn't come. I would just ask her, how is the court case doing? Because I knew it was
You can't even be a child and go like, Mom, I really wanted you to come. You're talking about, is the court case going in your favor?
Did you go for the hearing? How was the hearing?
Well, it went on for a long time.
Yeah, for like 5 years. My entire high school period up to, I think, a year too. No, in between my high school. Yeah. So that's what we'll discuss. Now, my mom, I think, became my confidant because we could sit down and discuss that story. Like, she'd update me, like, we went on Friday, this happened, this happened. There's a
like
time I remember. There's a time I volunteered and I told my mom, why don't you take me to that court and I go and tell those people that I'm my father's daughter?
We have a right to this land.
And my mom was like, no, you're under 18.
They won't listen to you.
You need a guardian and all that. So it was so hard. Even if she came for visiting, that's what we'll discuss the entire time. And then now we go check the results and she leaves.
So now, at what point did your faith now become, because you were introduced to the faith by your mom, at what point would you say it became now a personal relationship with God?
So, okay, I've been brought up knowing God. And then now in high school, that's when now I got born again. Because now what I was going through, I knew it's only God.
It's only God who can help you.
So I got born again in first year, in Form 1.
Form 1,
in Form 1. And now I'll attend the CUs, I'll be encouraged. And then now, I think whatever came, whatever storms I would go through, I felt like, no, there's a God.
There's a God, and you would go to God in prayer. You learn to pray.
Like now that visiting, when my mom is not coming, I just go and break down in the prayer
before
room.
God. Wow.
and would cry. And then sometimes I used to ask God questions like, why me, Lord?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll tell God, you know.
Yeah.
You know me. And then that verse of Jeremiah 11:29, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So I kept on telling God, you knew me.
He knew you.
Yeah. And then sometimes we'll go for entertainment on Saturdays.
Yes.
That during entertainments, there's a song that our teacher used to
sing or play.
Yeah, to play for us. The song of Eunice Njeri, I think, which says, Mungu wangu we wajua sababu. So I used to sing that song along. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I could sing that song and I could feel some peace.
After.
Yeah. Now I could feel some peace and I could encourage myself like, no, things will be well.
Amen.
So I went through my high school. Then in my Form 4 now, that's when now I decided to be focused, because this other time I've been going through many issues. Now when I got focused, I told God, God, I know my mom is struggling, but I want you to help me pass my exams.
Amen.
So that I can go to university by job. I think that time we had job and self-sponsored students, I think.
Yes.
Job, I think nowadays it's another
I don't know what it's called. Even me, I went those days, joint admissions board.
So so I told God, I want to pass my exams and go to join university by a job, not self-sponsored, because I know my mom won't be able to pay
that.
And when we were doing the indexing mock, I remember I used to do indexing mock, and then now you are given index numbers.
Are you index number 1?
No, so during my performance at the from Form 1 to Form 3, I used to perform like I would be top 30 out of 150. So this time I told God, I want to be top 10 in my indexing, so that I can be in room 1, because we used to be put in rooms during exams. So index 1 to 15 in one room.
And you wanted to be in
room 1. Yes. So I told God, do a miracle for me. I want to be in room 1. And true to it, God,
you were
I performed. Yeah, I was position 9. 9. So
God was hearing your prayers.
So I kept room 1, even during my exams. And I did my exams. I performed well, and I got a B+. And
you went to, definitely you went to campus.
To campus.
Which university were you in?
Egerton University.
What did you study in Egerton?
In economics.
You did economics?
I did economics.
Oh, okay.
So I did my exams. I finished. Now during this waiting period, when you wait for 2 years, that time we used to wait for 2 years before we joined campus. So that waiting period, I felt like now I need to get something to do. Because I can't stay at home with my mom. She's still going through a lot. So my uncle, the late uncle, took me in. He took me to a computer course. I did the computer thing. Now after the computer thing, I think I got some jobs in a hotel as a cashier. Just in town here in Nairobi.
Already at that time you were already in Nairobi.
Yes.
So you got a job in Nairobi.
Yes.
You're making money now.
Now I'm earning. I'm earning like 12,000. Yeah.
You can still
so it's a lot.
Mom.
It's a lot when you've just finished high school. It's a lot.
Yes.
So I could work, and at the end of the month I'll send my mom the entire amount
to
pay for my siblings' fees, and for her upkeep, and for her normal running the court case and all that.
You have been a blessing to your mom.
So I worked for like
that was it
the entire time. Now I was I think a month to joining campus, because I joined campus in August. So around July, I resigned the job to go home and
get ready.
That time we were filling the help forms and all that. For chief and all that, you have to go and move around.
Bursary. Both. There was help and bursary.
Yes.
So you went. You were able to get.
So I went, filled the forms, and I sent them at the headquarters. In Anniversary Towers. Now I stayed at home waiting for the help to come as I wait for to join the campus. So a week to joining, help is not in my account.
So how are you going to go to campus?
Yeah, and you know now all our hopes, my mom,
everyone was waiting for help. No one is looking for any money because we know help.
My mom had saved some little cash just for shopping maybe and transport and all that.
But tuition is coming from help.
And she knows help will pay 4,000 at school, and then now the remaining we can pay something. Yeah. 1 week to the exam, to joining, there's no help. I called at the help offices, they tell me you have to come in person.
So you need transport to come to Nairobi again.
So I have to get transport. So I traveled like on a Wednesday and we are supposed to join on Friday, hoping I'll go at the help offices. Things will work out.
You get your money that same day
and go to school on Friday.
Wow.
So on Wednesday I traveled from home. I came. On Thursday, now I visit the help offices. And that time the queue was so long. I think you could queue from morning to around evening. So I went, follow the queue up to the time now around 1. That's when now I was meeting the person. So they check in the system, they're like, no, you don't have help. Because
what happened? What?
Your form, you filled your dad is deceased, but at the occupation place, you didn't feel not applicable, you left blank. And then your mom, you wrote, she does farming.
He's deceased, how can he have a...
Okay, personally I thought someone knows if you're deceased, but you have no occupation.
But of course.
Yeah.
Why would they...
So, and then my mother, I wrote farming, so they expect but I didn't write monthly income.
Oh,
so personally, I knew farming mom harvests maybe once or twice in a year, so I don't need to write the monthly income. So those are the reasons why you don't have help.
So you didn't get help for campus?
I had to appeal.
And they gave you?
So I appealed, and now I thought appealing maybe something will work within a day or two. They tell me it will take 2 months.
So what happened? Did you join campus that same year? You did?
Yes.
God miraculously came through.
So that's okay. That's now Thursday. I remember leaving help offices. I was so broken. I've not eaten anything from morning. I just went. I think there's a Uhuru Park somewhere. I just went, sat somewhere, and I cried until I slept. Then now I woke up at around 6. Now waking up
in the evening.
Yeah.
Oh, you left the offices, went to Uhuru Park because you don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah. You didn't now I don't have any hopes now. I've lost hope.
Yeah. Now you're like, assuming I won't even go to university.
Yeah. And then now one person is calling me, telling me you have to defer. Now I'm thinking deferring, that means another whole year outside.
Waiting.
Yeah, waiting. So I kept quiet. I prayed. And I remember my mom now, when I told her help is not working, she started moving around. She was a treasurer in church, so there's some treasury cashier she was holding around 10,000. So she went to the treasury, gave me 10,000. Then now she started moving around. She was like, let me get something, even if it's borrowing, then I'll refund later, or I'll sell something, I refund the cash. So she moved around. So that evening going to sleep, I have only 10,000.
And you needed how much to join?
It was, school fees was 38, and then accommodation was around 5,000. So that's
10
43.
is not enough.
Exactly.
So what did you do?
So I went, slept. No, that night I didn't sleep. So I'm thinking what will happen. But now I had this hope that I must go. So I told myself, I'll not fail to go. I'll go, try register with what I have. If they refuse, then I'll give up.
So you literally went there with 10,000.
So in the morning, my late uncle now calls me and tells me, I have something, let me send you. He sends me 11,000.
Wow, now you have 21.
Now I have 21,000. My mom at home, she woke up so early now to move around, get some cash, what on what. So I leave the house with 21,000, and it's the transport I have to use, going to campus. To Nakuru now, from Nairobi to Nakuru. I don't know where Nakuru is. I don't know where the university is. I'm just going.
Oh my God.
So I'm in Nakuru town. I'm like, magari za kwenda Egerton
ziko wapi? Viewers, we have to continue with this story. We need to take a short break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned to DOXA TV. Hello viewers, welcome back. Right before the break, Annette was sharing her story, and she had just told us that she was supposed to be admitted in campus. She only has at this point only half of the amount of money that she needs. So please, let's continue. We need to hear what happened next. So what happened?
So I went, started my registration process. Now I had to go to the bank to deposit some cash. So I went, made a deposit. I think by that time my mom had, I think, collected some cash. Now I had a total of around 35. So I paid 30,000 for school fees and then 5,000 for accommodation, but in the same account but different slips. So I went to school.
So you were able to study?
Yeah, so I went, paid, I registered, but now they refused to admit me with the less fees.
So what happened?
So I had to pay the entire fee. I think something just happened. Someone just sent me 8,000 from nowhere, and I paid. And then I paid for accommodation. So I was admitted. Now my campus life started. I was okay. I stayed my normal campus life. 4 years. You did a 4 year economics? 4 years. 4 years. We're doing 4 years. 4 years. So you finished and graduated? Yes. Yeah. So I finished, I graduated. But in the midst of those studies and all that, I would save something from help, send my mom at home.
So you're literally using your help to still support the family.
Yeah, true. So I finished my campus and I graduated. Now after graduation, thanks to God, I got a job immediately before even graduating.
You got a job in Nairobi?
I got a job. No, I was posted somewhere.
Some place you don't.
Very far.
But at least you got a job.
Yeah, I got a job. Now I'm working. And I could now sustain my mom's things because I could like take a loan and just pay the entire fee for my siblings and do whatever I could do. And I could continue working. So I worked so well.
So while other people are just going on holiday, you're paying for fees.
Yes. And I remember back, taking us back, when people are going for long holiday in campus, me, I would go to look for a job.
Yes.
I remember I used to come to that hotel and I'm like, give me that job again.
Yeah, like internships or at least you get
just
some money.
Job, just to get some money and save for my school fees. And then now I'll substitute something for my mom.
God, you have been through a lot. Like by that time you're in your mid-20s and you have responsibilities of a 50-year-old.
Yes.
And in the middle of this, your faith in God is growing and it's growing.
Yeah, because I kept on knowing that whatever God has deposited in me, it has to to be brought forth.
It has to come forth.
Yeah.
God will bring it forth.
Yes.
And whatever you're going through, it's for a season.
Yeah,
It's for a
yeah,
season. Like
yeah.
that song you were saying, it's God knows why you're going through this.
Yes.
And it's to make you stronger, it's to make you better.
Yeah.
So
and
now
then to build my faith in Him.
I can imagine, because
Yeah.
you learn to depend on God pretty early in your life.
Yeah.
Because you see,
true.
even joining campus, that as you were telling us, it was really God had to intervene
Yes.
for you to be there.
Yes.
And now God has given you a job.
Yes.
Now, at what point did you get married?
Yeah. So I got married 1 year after getting a job. I got married in 2015.
Yeah.
And now you get married, you have your own plans. Like
Yeah.
now I want to get my kids,
Yeah.
either space them 3
Yeah,
years.
you know that perfect age
Yes,
gap, eh?
the plan.
You will be-
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, now I'll be spacing three kids. I'm okay.
You're done. I'll be done by this age. Yes.
Exactly. And focus on my my
other
growth.
things and my career. You know.
So I got my first child in 2017. I conceived in 2016. My pregnancy was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have any challenge, any issue, no. So I got my first son
In 2017, January of 2017.
Yes.
Okay.
And now he grew up so well. So you tell yourself, now let me give myself like 3 years.
So you wanted 3 years. So you waited for 3 years.
Yes.
So after 3 years, that's 2020 now.
No, 20 now, around 2019.
You're like, now I'm ready.
Yeah, let me now try.
Let me go back. And you know, because the first one was so seamless.
Yeah,
you're like, it's a no-brainer. We'll just get pregnant, have a baby.
You're very much okay.
Yeah,
and you think like these things are just normal.
Yeah, because exactly. Especially for those of us who our first pregnancies were, you just assume the next one will be easy and the one after that. So now 2019 you're trying.
So 2019 I'm trying. Things are not working. And you know, now my husband is not around. He comes like once or twice in a year.
Yeah, he works out of the country.
Yes. Okay. So you have to try.
Time.
Exactly.
So when he's here, you're like,
so 2019, nothing. 2020, nothing. And I'm like, now
what is happening
there
now?
Problem. Now I started to visit maybe a gyna, just going on a general checkup.
Yeah,
am I okay? Yeah. They're like, yo, you are fine.
There's no problem.
There's no problem. You have a fast birth, so you don't need to worry. Because if it was you are trying for the first time, then it's a different case. So I conceived, I think, in 2020 November.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, God, I've tried, and now it's here.
Yes.
Let me just take care of it.
Yeah. This baby I've waited for you.
Yes.
Now it's almost 5 years.
Yes. Now I'm taking my time, like I'm avoiding a lot of work. I'm doing this. Like now just to make sure things are safe. Yes. Now, in January 2021, one day, just going to the bathroom, I see some spotting. And I'm like, wow, spotting. I didn't see the same thing in my first pregnancy. So what's going on? So I check again. I feel like it's really spotting. Now I ran to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, they're like, no, go and do an ultrasound. We don't have ultrasound here. Go do an ultrasound. We check how the baby is. So when I went to do the ultrasound, that time I was expecting to be around 11, 12 weeks. And I told myself I'll start my clinics when I'm 12.
We normally wait, especially second time mothers. You're never in a hurry. I just wait till I'm like 4
you're not that anxious like the first one. You have now some knowledge and all that. So I told myself no. So when they went to the ultrasound, they're like, oh, we can't see the baby. You have to take a lot of water. I think during the ultrasound for the first trimester, you have to take a lot of water for them
to see the baby.
So I take a lot of water and go back to the ultrasound. The guy is like, are you sure your pregnancy is 11 weeks? I'm like, yes.
He cannot.
I'm very sure I have a calendar.
Yeah, I know
and
how to count. Okay.
Now it's just that I can't tell him. I know the time I got.
Yeah, I even know the date.
Yes.
So I know how old my baby should be.
Like, are you sure you counted so well? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And how comes the ultrasound is showing like the baby is 6 weeks? Hi, a difference of 5 weeks. That's a lot.
You know, you'd expect a week or two, you know?
Yeah. So when he tells me that, now he gives me the report. And I go through the report. It's written, an empty sac.
Now that rings a bell. You're like, no.
But now initially, I couldn't feel so much because I didn't understand the meaning of empty sac.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, an empty
also,
sac.
Even seeing it didn't cause any panic. You just were like, okay, what does it mean? But you were not sure.
Because you told me sometimes maybe ovulation takes place later, something. So I'm trying to speculate, maybe. Yeah. So an empty sac, fetus, I think fetus not viewable or something, the way they write their reports.
Yeah. So you need to take it to your doctor now to interpret it.
So going back to the doctor, the doctor is like, no, you need to see a gyna. I'm a general doctor, I can't interpret the results for you. So I go home, it's late, it's around 7.
So you go home with the report?
Yes.
No one still has told you what it means.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, let me go home. I'll wake up early in the morning, go to the gyna. So I slept, but now before sleeping I talked to my friend. I'm like, I'm looking for a gyna. Can you direct me to one of them? So she's like, no, I have a gyna in Nairobi Upper Hill. So
I'll refer you there.
And she gives me the number of the gyna. And calling the gyna that night, he picks. And now I'm like, I've been given this report, kindly can you. And
you wanted him to interpret it over the phone.
I'm so anxious.
And this is
I'm like, no, tell me.
Na ujalipa consultation.
Exactly. Na alikuwa mzuri.
He actually interpreted
it. Yeah, he told
me
whatever the report is saying, it means it's an empty sac. But now you have to come tomorrow to the clinic. We do another scan. I can't rely on another person's scan.
He wants to do his own scan.
So early in the morning, 5, I'm in town going to that hospital. And the gyna comes, does the scan. And the worst news comes. It's a blighted ovum.
What does, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
A blighted ovum is whereby fertilization happens, but now the fetus grows to a certain age, but the chromosomes are not well, I think,
developed or something.
So there are some features that miss in the fetus, so it dies. Yeah, it stops to grow and dies and then shrinks.
Oh, and now that's where the sac is empty.
It has shrunk.
There's
because a difference of 5 months, it has already shrunk. Now it's coming out.
Oh,
that's why now I was seeing the spotting.
Oh, now
So this entire time, and remember, we normally have, the normal hormonal changes, the first trimester and all that. When I was around 6 weeks, the body came back to normal.
And you didn't notice, I'm no longer feeling pregnant.
Nothing. So I even told my friend, hey, this time, this pregnancy is good.
Pregnancy imenipenda. Now, Annette, we'll have to stop there. And viewers, please stay tuned for part 2 of this story because you really don't want to miss it. Our God still performs miracles. Thank you, Annette, for joining us today. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Stay tuned to DOXA TV. I'm your host, Faith.